All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our College and Career Corners Maritime Career Town Hall. Tonight, we will explore the exciting career pathways of maritime environmental science with exciting and dynamic leaders from Port Everglades Terminal and Total Marine Solutions, our good friends over at TMS. So we're going to ask that everyone stay on till the end. If you've been involved with any of our webinars, you know we always do some kind of chat raffles, and tonight we're giving away we're awarding several $20 Amazon e-gift cards, plus a number of very special other prizes. What are those prizes? Yeah, you'll hear about them later, but just stay on with us. Before we go any further, a big thank you to all of our Bridge to Life, our B2L partners. Big shout out to our Broward schools, Broward County Public Schools, Broward Education Foundation, Broward Area STEM Ecosystem, and of course, our special industry partners for this evening, Port Everglades Terminal and Total Marine Solutions. So let's get tonight started, shall we? I am your host this evening, operational lead here for Bridge to Life, Tron Lepet, and I'm going to ask that all of our attendees do us a big favor. We want to make sure, number one, that you can utilize this feature. We want you to use the chat, introduce yourselves in the chat. Let us know what school you attend, what grade level you're in, anything else that you want to put in the chat. And we're going to ask that you put all of your questions in the chat this evening. Q&A will be conducted in the chat. So this is kind of our test run to make sure that you have access to it. By now, we're sure you know how to use it. So do that, put your stuff in the chat. Also, stay tuned, stay on until the end of our webinar when we start doing the raffles. That'll be your chance to win some e-gift cards. And again, some very special prizes, all right? So going ahead and load up the chat. We definitely want to see, okay, I see finally we're getting some post in the chat. And again, we're looking for the name of your school and the grade level, your current grade level. Put that in the chat and anything else you want to share, honestly, but please, let's do that. We love to see some chat camaraderie and some chatting. How about that? All right. First of all, we want you to appreciate the magnitude and impact of the maritime industry. So what we're going to do before we go any further is we're going to play a little video. This is a BIMCO video. This is going to give you a little bit more insight into this industry. And then we're going to kick things off with our first speaker of this evening. So are you ready? I hope you are. Keep loading up those chats. We want to see more chats. And here we go.
At a time when the world stopped, ships kept moving. People still shopped, ships kept on proving. The volume of trade that's moved by sea, 90% of trade, actually. Crops that are weighed, cars that are sprayed, and it's easy to see the impact this makes. Fruit and vegetables, toys and collectibles, wheats and grains, the blood in the veins. Like to land a farmer is, ships are to the sea. And if the world is the heart, ships are the arteries, which stock the pharmacies, move essential commodities. So there's a lot at stake across these seas. Without these routes, half the world would starve, while the other half would freeze. Without these bright-colored containers, the four walls in our house that contain us would be empty. The books we read, the animal feed, the oil we need, the global lives that we lead. No oil, no cars, no essential spare parts. The sea's version of stars, those flickering lights on the horizon, by moon and by sun, but the journey is never done. As a supertanker proves, the distance it moves is equivalent to 3 times around this Earth a year. And we are served by over 61,000 ships. The things we buy, the things that shops sell, the 1.7 million seafarers, it's more than just engines that propel this industry. And it's easy to see that a lot is owed to the people that load. 6,000 ports worldwide, but it's not all plain sailing. It's rough seas and piracy warnings and the change that this inevitably causes. The sea covers 70% of our planet, so you can see why we need to plan it. A global community of knowledge and passion, from salt and sugar to the latest fashion. Our ships keep moving products we love using. Ships make the world go. They help trade flow and let business grow.
Fantastic, and what a great introduction into tonight's festivities tonight's celebration of this industry as we get ready to dive a little bit more into it. And like I said before, we're going to start off with our first guest speaker. I love that quote, 70% of the earth is the sea, right? Just amazing. So we need to plan it. So we're going to get started right now with our first speaker. Show some love in the chat. We're going to hear from Silva, and we're going to hear, she grew up in Toms River, New Jersey, won an academic scholarship to attend SUNY Maritime College, holds a Bachelor of Engineering degree and a master's as well in our Science and International Transportation Management, sailed as a second mate on tugboats, port operations professional with 25 plus years of experience in the maritime industry. If you're not having fun, you aren't in the right job. That is a quote. So it is now time. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the one and only Anna. Now, Anna, we just watched a video describing the magnitude and the essential nature of the maritime industry and all of our lives, right? How this impacts us. Anna, yours is a big role at Port Everglades. So I'm going to start this by asking you a question. Can you explain your job, what your job entails, and what you love most about what you do?
Okay, well, specifically for Port Everglades terminals, I am the health, safety, and environmental manager, and I'm also the cruise operations manager. Because really one thing wasn't enough, so I wanted two jobs. And it's also a nice mix of outside and inside work. So I'm in the desk sometimes, and I'm on the dock sometimes. As the health and safety environmental HSE manager, basically my job is to make sure everybody gets home at the end of the day, that we don't have big accidents. Any accidents we do are minor, but I hope for no accidents, because as I tell them, I don't want to do paperwork, so everybody be safe today, like at the morning meeting. The environmental part is mostly about pollution prevention and pollution reduction. So we just recently got some new equipment, and it's basic housekeeping and maintenance and keeping everything running, that kind of thing for environmental. And for cruise, we load and unload the cruise ships. We put the passengers' luggage on and off. We do garbage offloads. We do store all their provisions for their cruises. And I keep that going. That's specifically on the grand scale of things. I'm really a troubleshooter. Like, if you ask me, what do you do every day, Anna? It's always something different, and it's always solving a different problem. So I go out and make sure the logistics, everything's running smoothly, or if there's a bottleneck somewhere, figure out how to fix that. Do we need to bring another forklift and a driver? Do we need to put the trucks somewhere different so they're running a better route, so they are a little more productive and more efficient? So yes, keeping everybody, and cruise ships run on a very tight schedule. So they're in at 6 and they're gone by 3 or 4. They do not go they don't come later. They don't leave later. They have a very tight timeline. So getting everything you need to get done. And sometimes that can be 2,000 passengers on and off. Sometimes that can be 6,000 passengers on and off. But you still have that same 8 hours to get it all done and sell the ship.
Fantastic. So again, at the essential core, problem solving is really what we're looking at here.
Pretty much, yes.
Pretty much. And students, you hear about this so much during your, school days, school hours, but just think about how you can apply what you learn on a daily basis to multiple industries. And as you can see, there's definitely a need here in the maritime industry. Thank you so much. And I'm going to move on to question number 2. So speaking of school and education, post-secondary education, we know how valuable it is, how important it is. After all, 65% of jobs require a credential of some sort. So we'd like to know what credentials you earn. We kind of teased it during your bio, but also we want students to understand the skills they should have or build to be successful in their future career. So please let us know also, just 3 to 4 different skills that you feel would help students the most.
Okay. So for me, my degrees are Bachelor of Engineering in Naval Architecture. I actually started out as an electrical engineer, and after my first electrical class, I was like, I'm never going to graduate. I'm never getting out of here. So I went to my advisor and said, what can I switch to and still be done in 4 years? He's like, Naval Arch. I'm like, okay, done, check. Let's go. because when you go to SUNY Maritime, you get a degree and your license. And I really knew that I was always going to sail on my license. So the finality of the degree and like the little specifics of it didn't really matter. I just wanted a Bachelor of Engineering. What the major wasn't concerning to me. As long as I get out in 4 years, because I also was going to get my third mate's Coast Guard license and be able to go to work on ships. And I knew that was where my career was going to go, or that's where I wanted it to go. So that was more important to me. I did eventually come shoreside, and then a friend was like, when are you going to go get your master's? And I probably put that off for 5 years. And then I finally went online, worked full time, and did my my Master of Science in International Transportation Management. So yes, online, going to school, going for your master's and working full time. That was new. That was something else. Because some of it I took online, and some of it, like the economics class, I was like, I'm never teaching this to myself. I need to go to school. So I went over to Broward College and took that class like in person. But at that point, I was already 15 years older than everybody else in class. So it felt a little weird, but I got through that class. So that was those were my degrees. But really, what's important is continuing to learn. So I won a scholarship through one of the organizations that Alex and I are in, WISTA, Women's International Shipping and Trading Association. I won a scholarship to study with ICS and get my foundation diploma in maritime studies. So I did that. I took that was a year's coursework. And then you just kind of take courses as they come. I've taken courses in diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've taken courses in safety and hazmat. I've taken some industry credentialing courses for my professional port manager. It's a 5-year program I'm involved in now. So it's always continuing to kind of learn something or read something or do something, because the industry is constantly evolving, whether it's technology on the ships or trade routes changing or the environmental stuff for portside. It's always, there's something always new coming down the pipeline at you. So you really need to stay on top of it, or you're going to be left far behind. And you asked me a second question. Oh, the top skills. So skills I think that are important: organization. If you're not organized, maritime, like I said, it's something different every day. So if you're not organized and know what you need to do, what needs to be done today, what's due at the end of the week, what's coming up at the month, if you're not on top of that all the time, you're in trouble. So organization is a huge skill. Also listening. Listen to the new people. Listen to the people who have been there for 30, 40, 50 years, because they've seen things that you haven't seen, and they're looking at it from their perspective and with their set of experiences. So you're getting a different viewpoint, and collecting all of those and then being able to pull from them as you are going to do, as I'm going to do my troubleshooting, like, oh yeah, Bernard told me this, or I saw John do this one day. Okay, these are some things I can try. So listening is a big one for me. Attention to detail, knowing when you look in a room or look at a terminal, what should be there, what shouldn't be there, what looks slightly out of place. And that is important for maritime security. That is important for safety. That is important for operations. You just need to keep an eye on everything and really focus it. Like when you look out, concentrate on what you should see and what you are seeing, and how those two match up. And what if they don't match up, then you need to go check that out. It might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing, but your attention to detail in the finite details, that's very important. And lastly, public speaking. You may not be comfortable with it, but you're going to have to speak to a group of workers for a safety meeting in the morning, to a board of directors meeting, doing your presentation, to the entire management team, to a group of students. Public speaking, whether formal or off the cuff, that's very important. And some people that I know are like, no, please, Anna, do not make me do a group tour. Please don't make me a group tour. Some people are loving it. But public speaking is very important, especially if you want to present yourself and your business and get ahead.
Anna, thank you so much. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The learning never stops, right? Companies' jobs are always evolving, but just great skills there. All fundamentals that students are learning day in and day out in high school and in other grade levels that, is going to trickle into their career. So thank you so much for those skill sets. And, public speaking, now there's virtual public speaking. How about that?
Yeah.
So it actually, if we can back up for a second, I just want to go back to the industry as it is, just the magnitude of your role again.
Mhm.
How many ships would you say on average come through in a week?
Oh, Lord. All right. So in the port, I'm going to do this math wise. We have 30 berths. So during cruise ship season, we have two days, Saturday and Sunday, are 8 ships a day. So and this is just for the cruise side. We're just going to do cruise math and then I'll do cargo math. So 16, and then I'm going to say another 10 to 15. So 16, 15, that's 31 cruise ships a week. And then if you add on cargo, that could be anywhere from 10 a day. So 7 days a week, 70. So we're looking at 100 ships a week, in and out, constantly moving. And I didn't realize what that looked like until at my last job, the office overlooked the channel. And almost every time I turned around, there was a ship coming in, a ship coming out, a ship coming in, or a tugboat going out to meet the ship. So it was much busier than I had originally thought it would be. But then when you start doing the math, like, yeah, we are moving ships all the time.
Oh, that's a lot of movement, a lot of traffic flow.
Yes.
So students, that just gives you an idea in terms of the amount of traffic that they're seeing, right here in our backyard. And listen, that was amazing. We definitely want to be mindful of the time. So I'm going to ask you one last question, if that's okay. We know you've received some career guidance along the way. How many of us adults on here haven't received that career guidance and advice? So in that same vein, do you have a key takeaway piece of advice you would offer students as they prepare for their future?
Yes, actually, and I read this in a magazine. It was to read something about your industry for 5 to 10 minutes a day. So it could be a newsletter you subscribe to. It could be an actual trade magazine article. It could be an interview with a CEO. But just that, and that's what I do in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the morning when I turn on my computer and look at my emails. I'll go to the trade journal subscriptions I get, and I'll read a couple articles. And it just helps you stay current with what's going on in a variety of different aspects of the industry, of offshore wind, of petroleum, of environmental regulations going on. So 5 to 10 minutes every day, read something about your industry, and it keeps you current with everything that's going on.
Stay current, students, the same way you do Fortnite and all those other games. Stay current in your career, because I know
Your
they're on
celebrity
those blogs.
gossip. Just stay on top of the Maritime. Yeah.
Right? Stay on top of it. Anna, thank you so much. We know you're going to stay around and answer some questions, or just hang out with us. So thank you very much, students and everyone else that's on. Let's give Anna a huge round of applause. Show some love in the chat. Put some reactions up. We're so thankful for anyone that takes time out of their day to come and present to us. So thank you so much. With that, we're going to move right along to our next special guest speaker, who already has her camera on. She is primed and ready to go. I introduce to you the one and the only Alexandra Anagnostis. And let me tell you, students, who we're talking about here for just a second. She is the founder and president of Total Marine Solutions. You see her bio up on the screen here. Born and raised in South Florida. Woohoo! Actually, second generation South Floridian. Proud alum from Barry University in Miami Shores. Everything's here on her bio. Take some time to scope it through. Grew up working in the cruise industry, shoreside, and technical operations. Started her own company from scratch 22 years ago, from scratch. She's an active member on a number of maritime boards and loves Billie Jean King's mantra, pressure is privilege. How about that? How about that? So without any further ado, I introduce to you Alexandra Anagnostis. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex. We really look forward to learning more about you and what you do. And in order to kick things off, we'll start with a question. Pretty sure you knew that was coming. I could tell from your bio that you are truly an amazing leader. Tell us more. We want to know what got you interested in the maritime industry in the first place. What obstacles did you have to overcome along the way? What do you love most about what you do, right? Those are just a few questions throughout there, Alex, but I know you can handle it. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm really thrilled to be here. And thank you for all the students who are joining us tonight. I wish all of our pictures could be up there. So I feel like we would really be talking to you. But we're really happy to be here. I think you'll hear this from a number of people within the maritime industry. The way we got into this industry for a lot of us was by pure happen chance. So I grew up wanting to be an accountant. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a CPA, and I wanted to work for one of the big eights back at that time. When I graduated high school, as a number of you will be soon in the spring, there were two siblings ahead of me that were already in college. So I received a sports scholarships to a community college, and my parents were like, please take that for 1 year until one of the other ones get out of school. So I did that, and I decided to go to work part-time as well. And I went to a temp agency, and they sent me to, back then, a company called Bahama Cruise Line. And as Anna just described, the cruise industry is every single day, there's nothing different. I mean, there's nothing the same. It changes every day. And you go into work and you're like, okay, what's going to hit us today? So when I was in the cruise industry, I was finishing my bachelor's, and I went on and finished my master's as well. But between the 2 degrees, I left the cruise industry and went to work for one of those big eight and sat for my CPA exam. And I absolutely hated it. So that passion and that this is what I'm going to do really was just thrown up in the air. And I found this industry that I thoroughly loved, that just sparked an interest in me and still does. I'm working on the other side of the table right now, but it's just something that serendipity comes along, and you can't be fearful of it. When you have a career path, but career paths don't necessarily mean that is this perfectly paved one-way street, and there's not going to be any turns along the way. If you're lucky, there will be turns along the way. And it may be a pull of another passion. It may be a pull of something that takes you out of where you're currently positioned and has you move to another area, and just follow it. Just follow your gut. So that's how I ended up in the maritime industry. I went to work for one of the big eights in the middle of tax season, absolutely hated it, begged my boss to take me back. Went back to the cruise industry, and that's where I've been ever since. So I left Royal Caribbean in 2000 to start Total Marine Solutions. And one of the reasons why is because there was an opportunity to represent a company based out of Sweden for environmental compliance. So I took that opportunity with a lot of support from a lot of my colleagues at that time, a lot of the colleagues shipboard as well. And they're still very good friends 22 years later. It seems like 5 years ago, because time really just goes, just flies in front of you. But the strength of those relationships, and Anna and I are very good friends, and it's just having friends around you, especially as we're just, coming, this is 1 year, 2023, 2022, where we didn't suffer a lot of the pandemic, but we were just coming out of it. And during those trying 2 years, those of us in the maritime industry, just as that video described to you, a lot of ships just stopped. And the crews on board were stuck there, not getting home to their families. So the maritime industry is deeply rooted, and within those roots, families are built, friendships are built, relationships are built. And this relationship with Bridge to Life is one example of it. So we're really happy to be here.
Well, we thank you for having us here and just always answering the call. We're so glad that, lots of companies, including TMS, were able to move out of that COVID window, right? I mean, what a time it was, a historic moment for us all, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you this, because we've met on occasion. This isn't your first time here with Bridge to Life conducting or facilitating a presentation. We truly believe that you are a strong leader. But what is your definition, Alex, of strong leadership, and how would you characterize your leadership style at your company?
I always, and again, growing up and working with and for phenomenal leaders and people, I always consider a strong leader to be one that, of course, knows what they're doing and has a vision and shares that vision with the team that are around them. Brings in people that are very, very, very often smarter than them, right? And have the same passion, and allow people to shine. And when something doesn't go wrong, pulls the team together and figures out what went wrong, how do we prevent it from happening again? And really just building a strong core group of people that feel like family, but understand that throughout your career, yes, it's great as a leader to be liked, but respected comes first. People have to respect you. They have to depend on you. They have to know that you're going to make the tough decisions with their input, right? And then just continue to grow the organization, because it's also a strong leader needs to make sure that there's a purpose to their organization. There's a purpose to their mission, and that everyone comes when they devote their livelihood to an organization that they feel that purpose in and of themselves. So it's really strong leaders have to exude integrity, they respect for others, and really have to have that gratitude for the opportunity to lead. That's important.
100%. You talked about having smart people around you. I always say, if I'm the smartest person in the room, we got a problem. I completely understand. You're right. I mean, they have those strategic
you have
thinkers.
To learn, being able to learn from each other is phenomenal. So.
It's huge. It's paramount. It's paramount. So Alex, I'm going to ask you a third question. This kind of goes into TMS now, in terms of your product portfolio, right? That helps commercial vessels and cruise ships be environmentally more friendly, and that your digital Ocean Guardian product helps vessels understand environmental compliance regulations. Repeat, environmental compliance regulations. Students, let's do some research on that. At ports all over the world. So it sounds like your company must need people from a wide variety of backgrounds, from marine scientists to computer engineers. Can you talk a little bit about that? You talk about the spectrum of career pathways in the maritime industry.
Absolutely, and it's at times seamlessly endless. So just Anna talked. She sailed on board as a second mate on board tugboats, right? So you have from, if you talk just shipboard, you have from captains down to plumbers that all make it happen. Because when you look about those 100 ships that Andrew just described being in Port Everglades on average every single week. And please, when you all go across 17th Street Bridge, look to the left or look to the right, depending which direction you're going, and look at the ships. Because there's so many out there that don't even look over there and see really what's going on. When these ships sail, right? And let's talk about one of the cruise ships. Cruise ships, one of the oasis of the seas, anthem of the seas. I don't know if they're still sailing out of there. Come off mute, Anna, and help me out here if you'd like to. They have up to 6,000 passengers and 4,000 crew. So that's 10,000 souls on these ships. And they leave on average, let's say, for 7 days. Everything. So you need plumbers to make sure that all of that equipment is working well. Electricians, engineers, the people to navigate it safely. When you go into the restaurants, you have room stewards, you have waiters, you have maitre d's. So much of what you see shoreside in the hospitality industry transcends to shipboard life, to shipboard opportunities. When you look at offshore rigs, that's part of our industry as well, the maritime industry, right? Offshore rigs, all of those doing that drilling. We talk about wind power. So again, these are stationary ships, if you will, that are sitting there and pulling resources to generate electricity in a greener sense. When you talk about shoreside, of course, you have from, the CEO down to the person that's keying in invoices. And everything is so critical. Every position is so critical. So one of the things that's interesting is I believe we have a number of students that are in the STEM programs. So if you're in the STEM programs, that type of background is really sought after in the maritime industry. And don't ever feel that you don't have exactly what's needed when you're looking at opportunities. There was a study that was done that said that males tend to apply for jobs if they're 60% qualified. Females don't unless they're 100% qualified. If you have a passion, regardless of your qualifications, apply for it. On the job requirements, a lot of that can be trained if you don't have it. And if you hadn't gone to, again, I wanted to be an accountant, and all of a sudden I was a purchasing director for a major cruise line, and then decided to start my own company. I didn't have the traditional education to do that, but a lot of it was learned on the job, and I knew that I could do it. So don't go through a job description and say, you know what, I didn't check all those boxes. If it's something you want to do it. And I can tell you that if you have a passion for something, I'm certain that it will align with an opportunity within the maritime industry. And Anna, if you want to add anything to that, please do.
Yeah, there's running a ship or a port. It's basically running a small city. You need everything. For running the port, you need groundskeepers and plumbers and painters and finance people and environmental scientists, because the ports need to stay environmentally compliant. And then you need policemen, firefighters, all of that, and people to tie up and untie the ships. And on board, like Alex was saying, there's anything that you would need to run a town, you need to run a large cruise ship. Medical doctors, doctors, nurses, again, I would say accountants, people in money, general housekeeping people, all of those things. And really, you can come from any of those into the maritime industry and kind of find your niche. Like, you can bring a strength from somewhere else. I was on the dock yesterday and telling someone I was going to be doing this, and I was like, where did you come from? He's like, I had a trucking company, and a buddy of his wanted to go ask for a ride to go to Crowley to apply for a job. While his buddy was applying, someone else came down and was like, oh, are you here to apply? And he was like, no. And he's like, but we're hiring. So he went up and wrote, and they called him he said that was December the 14th. And on December the 26th, he had a job. So it's just, it's being in the right place at the right time. Like Tron said, it's taking any opportunity that's out there and just grabbing it and not being afraid to go for it.
Right. And one of the things that we really want to drive home is 90% of everything that we touch, that we utilize in our daily life, got to us initially by a ship. Mm-hmm. So we need, so to the students out there, we need people that just have the drive to get things done, people who want to take the opportunity, who understand that pressure is a privilege, right? Because if you weren't being pressured, it means you don't have any opportunities in front of you. Mm-hmm. Pressure is a privilege because at the end, you're going to sit and you're facing with the challenge. You're going to go ahead and try to conquer that challenge, try to get that task done. And at the end, you really have this sense of successful achievement or a lesson learned if it didn't go your way. So if you don't feel pressured, you're not pushing yourself enough. Pressure doesn't equal stress. So, okay.
Thank you so much. And, it almost kind of ties into the next question, which is key pieces of advice you would offer students as they're preparing for their future. So definitely I'm giving you an opportunity to answer that. So feel free, the floor is yours.
Yeah. reflect and really understand if something is driving you, it's could be described as a passion, right? It's typically termed a passion. So if you have a passion, follow that passion and just throw your whole self into it. And if you're still undecided, you don't have that tug in any certain area, just cast a wide net. Don't be afraid. There's so many opportunities out there, incredible career paths, even outside of the maritime industry. We're not sitting there saying, okay, it's maritime or nothing. We just want to, again, as it is the Bridge to Life's mission, we want to make sure that as you're looking towards graduation, you know what's out there. You know what opportunities are out there. So, and get involved as you're doing right now. Okay. You're done with school for today. You're looking for the Christmas break, which is just a couple days away, and you're online with us. That's involvement. Get involved and stay involved. Everything you put out there comes back to you, typically times, by multiples. So you all are, it's great that you're here.
Thank you so much. And we echo your words 1,000 times over. Anna, we echo your words 1,000 times over as well. Get involved, stay involved. Don't limit yourself. Take the opportunity, whatever it is. Never count yourself out, right? Speaking of opportunities, we're now going to jump into a portion of tonight's webinar where we talk about opportunities, jobs in the maritime industry. And we're going to move through this for the sake of time. We're going to move through this rather quickly, but we want you students to take screenshots of what you're seeing here. Save this, do some additional research on it. It's all for you. So let's pull the slide back up. There we go. And we're going to start with some facts just right here in front of you, as you can see. First things first, America's domestic maritime industry is responsible for almost, get this, 650,000 jobs. I just want to quote that again. 650,000 jobs and over 150 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion in annual economic output. I mean, it speaks for itself. Those are huge numbers. Right here in our backyard, Port Everglades. And students, again, we're asking you, take screenshots of the information you see here. Please, we want you to keep this information. Right here in our backyard, guys, Port Everglades is the third busiest cruise home port in the world. Again, in the world. And one of the United States' busiest container ports, right? According to the Maritime Industry Foundation's Maritime Knowledge Center, there are approximately 1.2 million people currently employed at sea in the maritime industry. Currently employed. These are staggering numbers if they're not really coming across you that way. Let me just say it. These are incredible numbers. The state of Florida ranks second amongst all states with 65,990 American maritime jobs tied to the domestic maritime industry. Again, that's in the state of Florida. Bottom line, what is the bottom line here? I'm sharing so much information here. Bottom line, jobs are plentiful and they are high-paying jobs. As you can see here, just some port careers, shoreside careers here. Just take a look at what we have. They're high-paying jobs. Think about all of the different specializations you can pursue. You heard us talk earlier about, having finance as a career, accounting as a credential, whatever the degree is, there's going to be a tie-in in some kind of way, right? So think about all those different specializations you can pursue. Consider Anna's role and background at and the role that TMS plays in the digital space with their Ocean Guardian tool and environmental science. How important is that to this industry? So I think, hey, wait a second. Do we have anyone from a marine science program here with us tonight? Just throwing a question out there. Do we have anyone with us from marine science program here tonight? Just wondering if we do. Throwing it out there. Okay, just thought I'd throw that out there. Check this out, guys, what we're gonna do next. So just wanted to give you some So just wanted to give you some information on these jobs and careers. So we're going to move forward right now, and we're going to end our interviews with the one and only Chad Jordan. As you can see, Chad interned with TMS last summer and is interning there over his winter break. It is now my pleasure to introduce Chad Jordan. You can see his bio facts on the screen. Summer 2022 internship with TMS, continued the internship during winter break. Freshman at UCF Go Knights, talented digital content creator and online influencer, working with none other than B2L, former drum major and proud graduate of Fort Lauderdale High School, believes in leaving the world a little bit better than we found it. Thank you so much for joining us, Chad. We look forward to hearing how you were able to earn an internship with TMS. This is interesting, students, and what you're gaining from that experience. So we're going to kick things off, Chad, like we did before, with one quick question. And here goes your question. So, Chad, we know your connection to TMS initiated from you winning a Maritime video submission from the YouTuber conference. You may not have gone through the traditional process of applying for an internship, but you got one. All right, that's what matters. So, Chad, what advice would you offer to students that they too can get connected with companies and employers?
Yeah, sure thing. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'd like to start by saying that I am a college freshman, if it's on the screen, meaning that I was literally in your shoes not too long ago. I was sitting in a virtual meeting just like this, seeking to learn new things, and because my mom urged me to join. So to this day, I'm so thankful that she did, because her doing that opened so many doors for me that I could not have possibly imagined. But it's kind of like my mom just, how the bird, like the mother bird kicks the bird and you have to start flying on your own. It was, once she put me in that initial meeting, it was up to me to continue to seek opportunities and continue to seek connections. And it was about me being persistent and going after the opportunities that I was given. Because if you're not persistent about chasing those opportunities, then you're more likely to miss out on those opportunities, or miss out on like the opportunities being like, hey, we see that you're doing this, and we really want to have you tag along and be a part of what we're doing. So always being involved, always, in this case, I was in the right place at the right time, but my continued involvement just allowed me to be in the position that I am at right now. And you always hear about networking and forming relationships, and that is just always such an important thing, because the more people the more likely it is you're going to be in certain positions where it's just like, hey, I know this guy, like, hey, he was on this webinar, and he is a really excellent speaker, and I want him on my webinar for my radio show. And then the radio show might take you to, it's just like, there are so many things that are a part of where I got to be. But the number one thing is always be persistent, always seek opportunities. If there's an opportunity, never say no. Always go for it. Always go for the opportunities, because especially if it's something that you want, always be persistent, because you always want to make sure that you put yourself in a position that is like most advantageous for you.
Thank you, Chad. Students, I hope you're taking notes. Chad, I'm going to head down a slightly different corner here, but students considering their future careers often think about the job they want to have and in what industry, right? I'm sure you were there. They probably don't think about a company's organizational culture and why that's so important. So we understand the culture at TMS is positive. We understand it's inclusive, and it starts at the top. Tell us what you admire about the culture of the company, TMS.
Oh, yes. So I could go on about this forever. I just love how welcoming everyone is. It's really like family. It's like I go in, it's like I don't feel like I'm going into work. I just feel like I'm going in, and you know, I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing. I'm enjoying the people I'm talking to, and everything just feels like such a team effort. There's no one, like everybody contributes. It's so beautiful to see like a system where everybody contributes, everybody is on point, everybody can have a friendly conversation, everybody's just doing what they need to do, and just we're all getting along here. And like, although that sounds like normal, it's really not. And I could say that from like prior experiences, but being able to walk into a facility where everyone, you are like cared for, even loved, is just really amazing, and where everybody's doing their part to contribute, and everybody's just really, it's just really the environment and the workspace that Alex has cultivated is really amazing. And I'm just so happy that I was blessed and allowed to become a part of that workspace.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Students, when you're applying for jobs, please ask about the company culture. That is very important, and I could spend so much time there. So thank you very much. Do me some favor, everyone. Can we show Chad some love in the chat, please, for joining us and talking about his personal experience? That's right. Hearts out to everyone. Hearts out to everyone. You know, Chad, if you guys remember the BIMCO video about the maritime industry that we played at the beginning, well, Chad actually has one where he has his own interpretation in his winning 60-second video. So we're actually going to take a look at that. Students, check out some of Chad's work. Tell us what you think. Share your thoughts with us. Here comes a video.
I know now the necessity of all the cargo ships crossing the sea. I was blind, but now I see how important it is for these essential commodities that these ships travel across the world with, facing pirates and threats that are unknown to you and me. I was ignorant, but now I know the need for the number of working seafarers to grow, with over 300,000 tons of cargo in tow, maintaining the flow of commerce worldwide. We cannot divide, but instead multiply the awareness of this arduous task. While our world is slowed down, cargo ships are still moving fast, keeping the large volume of trade stable while still being able to let us eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a table. I was uneducated, but now I have learned of the acknowledgement that seafarers have yearned for. That package you ordered, the couch in the house where you loiter, may not have initially been brought to you by land, but instead by sea. Like the arteries of the world, the ships provide us with these essential things that help us to survive.
Awesome, awesome, Chad. Thank you so much. What an amazing job. Again, can we put some love in the chat? Can we put some love in the chat for Chad and his amazing work? This has been so much fun, guys. We want to give a big shout out to our special, wonderful speakers. If you have any final questions, make sure to put those questions in the chat again. And we've seen a lot of those questions coming in, so great job. And now it's time. We're going to go into our raffle. So you've been patiently waiting. We've been patiently waiting. So get ready. We have some raffle questions for you. Are you ready? Are we ready, team? Yes, we are. I have the questions right in front of me. Students, again, make sure to take your time. Put your questions in the chat. We want to hear from you. We want to answer your questions. All right. So here is the first question. Hope you guys are ready. All right. What master's degree did Anna earn? Let's see if we can figure this one out. We mentioned it. It was said earlier. What master's degree did Anna earn? And put your answers in the chat, please. Let's see. I'm still waiting to see. Okay. Oh, I think we got the answer. Yep, we have it right here. I see it. I see it. Kay Davis Patter, Masters in International Transportation Management. Congratulations. Kay, do us a favor. You're a registrant, so we have your email address, but if you can send a direct message with your email address to myself, Ms. Colleen Lockwood, that would be great. We want to make sure you get the prize, so congratulations. Okay, that's one question down. We're going to keep on moving. So speaking of Anna, she covered a couple skills, right? What skills did Anna say were important to be successful? Oh, by the way, there were 4. I even wrote these down. So let's see what we have here. 4 skills. We want to see all 4 skills in one chat. Don't chat them separately. Keep them together. All 4 skills. Let's see, I see some individual skills coming in. Okay, but we want to see all 4. Okay, I see 2. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're thinking. The wheels are turning. I can feel the energy.
Like,
I can
what did
feel
she
the
say? What did she say?
Okay, we have, oh,
Bingo.
okay,
Again.
bingo, it is. K, guess what, K? K Davis Patter, you
K's on it.
are correct. Listening, organization, attention to detail, and public speaking.
Good job.
Fantastic. All right. So we have those 2 questions. You know what? I think we have 2 more questions we're going to ask here. So let's get ready. Get your fingers ready. Get them as close as you can to the keyboard. Here's a question for you. What percentage of goods travel by ship? And you heard this earlier. What percentage of goods travel by ship? Oh, think we already got it. Right here. Right here.
Denise got it.
Denise, congratulations, 90%. You are spot on. Y'all have your listening caps on today. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, let's see here. Are we down to 1 more? Yep, we're down to 1 more question. So this is an interesting one. How does Florida rank among all states for maritime jobs? Oh, I think I see it. And Lucas, our ranking is indeed second. That's right. Second to none is what I like to say. We're second to none. That's right. That's right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Students, thank you so much. And congratulations to all of you who win. And we need your email addresses. So make sure to put your, send us a direct message with your email address. That would be so helpful for us so we can make sure you get your e-gift card. So again, congratulations, students. And we just want to, oh, Alex, I'm sorry. Alex, you know what? Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you want to pick a question for your prize, Alex?
Put me on the spot there, Tron.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, what was my initial career path that took a left turn? There you go. Yep.
Rachel.
Yep.
All right, Rachel, congratulations. I mean, they're on it. They are on it. Paying close attention. Goodness gracious. Paying close attention. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. I think do we have any other prizes? I think that's it in terms of prizes. I just want to make sure with our big, okay, I'm seeing head nods. Okay. All right. Okay. So with that being said, thank you to our phenomenal guest speakers who joined us this afternoon. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Alex, so much. We greatly appreciate not only your friendship, your camaraderie, your association with us. And a special shout out to Chad Jordan, who's kind of linked in between all of us. Way to go, Chad. Keep up the great work. Go Knights, go Knights. Thank you to all of our B2L partners, as we mentioned earlier, our Broward STEM ecosystem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our Broward Schools, Broward Education Foundation, and thank you, last but not least, to you, the students who joined us right before your holiday break at that. We were like, are they going to show? Are they going to show? And you showed up and you showed out.
Yay.
So thank you so much. Before we're done, Alex or Anna, any last words before we conclude?
No, just best wishes for the holidays. Stay safe. Yep.
Yeah. And actually, I'm excited. When I first saw Chad's video, I was working in TMS, or I just left TMS because we worked together for a while. And I remember saying, I'm like, oh my God, can I hire him? Because Alex had sent it out like as a blast email to us. And I watched him like, can I hire him? And she's like, I got him. I'm like, okay. And now here he is. Yay.
Yeah.
Here he is. Thank you so much, everyone. And, you know what? I'm sorry, Alex.
No, just thank you to Bridge to Life. You guys do fantastic work.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Lockwood, for all of your hard work, our collective impact leader. And Chad, again, thank you again for showing up and showing out. Everyone, to have a phenomenal holiday break. Enjoy your time. Yes, the answer to the question that I know I probably missed in the chat, but this will be recorded. We'll put this up on our YouTube channel, so we'll share it out with you as well, just so that you can share it out with others. Happy holidays, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.